What is going on, everybody? It's the France, and we're back again with another review reaction for Elestrals. This one is a little bit different because we are finally seeing our first ban in competitive play after about a year or so of competitive play becoming a thing. So this one, not a surprise here at all, but we'll see what Dan has to say. Let me make sure he's up a little bit as well.
Thunder Nexus Elestral Spark It to Tartarus. Spark It has been the topic of tons of debate in the Elestrals community for many months, as it enables the powerful strategy within Thunder Nexus. When used on turn 1, Spark It creates an unstable game environment that can be very challenging for opposing players, and truthfully, it's simply unfun. We've seen
If your opponent happens to get lucky to get, which honestly I'm telling you right now, they're probably cheesing to get that. They're probably shuffling. They know what the card they're looking for, and they know which card they need. Like what card sleeve has the Sparkin in it and the Zeus, so they can get Thunder Nexus off first turn. Basically, Thunder Nexus first turn, you're popping one card at least, and it's not really fair. Thunder Nexus is one of the very most difficult decks to get around. It's the biggest, it's the best card, it's the best deck in the meta. I know Earth Beatdown has seen a rise with like Coder and others playing it as well. But when it comes to the metagame, Thunder Nexus is the one that everyone goes to.
Seen this card and deck dominate the competitive scene, and while my initial plan was to hold off on banning this card, after much consultation and deliberation, I believe banning Spark It outright is what's best for Elestrals moving forward. Our newest set, Daybreak, introduces two key cards, Glimbat and Dense Fog, which can provide some counterplay to Spark It, but even with that, the knowledge and hand rip effect that Spark It generates in conjunction with the other consistency tools within the Thunder Nexus deck have proven to be problematic. Ultimately,
and also, like, Dense Fog is a counter rune. If your opponent happens to have a Change of Prometheus on their side, throw that one out the window. And Glimbat, if somebody plays that, Gorgon's Gaze, boom, throw that out too. So you still, even though you put these two items in here to try and counter Spark It Nexus, it's definitely not a full-blown plan. Plus, you have to have Solar or Lunar in your deck to be able to counter Spark It Nexus. If you're somebody who doesn't want to carry Solar or Lunar, you have no desire to use Solar or Lunar, then you're screwed anyway, because these are two options that you're not going to have access to.
Leading to this decision. As much as I wish I was a perfect game designer who knew all of the answers and could foresee all of the potential problem cards, I simply am not. Spark It in its prototype phase was weaker and did a random discard, which was changed at the last minute in testing to provide a power level buff to Thunder.
Which was a massive mistake. They should have kept it to random. Even though random obviously could be, you know, basically random is you just hold all your cards up without them seeing, and they pick which one they want. It's not as bad, and that's honestly, if they would have had that, Thunder Nexus wouldn't be as bad as it is. Right now, it's just, here, I'm going to show you my cards. Here's my most powerful card. Yep, you get rid of it. Boom, done.
Truthfully, this has been one of the biggest mistakes I've made in designing Elestrals, and simply...
It's not the only biggest mistake you've made, but it's one of the biggest mistakes. I still say Voltempest having the ability to be untouchable as long as it's in attack position is one of the bigger mistakes as well, but this one definitely is above it. You have Spark It Nexus, Spark It up here, and Voltempest here as two of your biggest mistakes that weren't planned at all. Why would you change this last minute? Random card was probably the best way to go, but you're like, let's give it a random. Thunder decks as a whole are still the most powerful decks in the game. Banning Spark It Nexus definitely was a smart play.
I want to try to fix that to make the game more enjoyable for the future. Effective August 5th, Spark It will no longer be legal for any officially sanctioned Elestral events, and will continue to monitor the health of the game. Daybreak will introduce a new Thunder Nexus Elestral called Larvacell, and I can also confirm Set 4 will also introduce a Thunder Nexus Elestral to provide more consistency options for those decks. My team and I put our heads together, and I believe we found a very awesome and fun solution for cards like Spark It, who are banished to Tartarus in the future. Which, by the way, I hope to not have to do this too often. This is an extreme case, but again, even with hundreds and thousands of games of testing, it's hard to be perfect, and sometimes cards just get away from you. Like I said, I think our solution is awesome and really innovative compared to what other games are doing. Spark It is going to re-release with a new common card next year in Set 5 called Spark It Escape from Tartarus. This new titled Spark It
But this will be the Sparket that takes what its original ability was and boom, it's back. So the titled Sparket Escape for Tartarus will be illegal eventually in set 5. So you have late next year to worry about that.
Sparket card will feature a nerfed effect and stats to bring it to a more sustainable and appropriate power level. The effect on screen is subject to change as we begin testing this new card immediately in the midst of our set 5 testing. Thank you guys for your support, and I look forward to your feedback regarding Sparket, the Tartarus list, and how we plan to approach bans moving forward. Until next time.
Yeah, so getting rid of Sparket Nexus right now was the smart play. Larvicell I don't see seeing much play because its a Nexus effect is not as good as Sparket's. Whatever they have for set 4, which I'm really hoping we get that name for set 4 comes very soon, and we can start getting those previews in like September maybe. Probably September, maybe October. I don't know when we're actually going to get set 4. So that's to look forward to there. But yeah, Sparket Nexus getting banned. It's only competitive play, so if you're somebody playing casually, obviously you can play any card you want casually. But the fact that they show for these competitive tournaments all the time the what deck list was used, what type of meta was used, and Sparket Nexus is always like a good chunk of that graph that they always, because they do a pie graph, and Sparket Nexus is used a lot. Does Sparket Nexus win every match? No. Does Sparket Nexus win every tournament? No. We've had Earth Beatdown and other things win. But the fact that over 70% of competitive decks are Sparket Nexus is a problem. So I'm glad that he's finally on August 5th and forward, he's going to be banning it, and then Escape for Tartarus will be the one that you're going to be allowed to play. Like 3-1, like the stats don't matter because it's 3-1, and that doesn't make a difference. It's the effect itself. The fact that you can Nexus now and it's a random one is much better than, hey, let me see your hand, I'm going to choose to wreck your game. Because making it a random thing, maybe I have a dummy in there, maybe I have like a stadium that I'm not going to use. Oh, you threw that stadium away, cool, not a problem. But let me know what you think about the banning of Sparket Nexus. It was definitely probably the biggest mistake that he made so far with this. There's many mistakes that has been in the Elestrals that's in game and out of game that he's looking to fix, and this game is really young. Hopefully everything gets cleaned up as we go on. Banning needs to happen at some times or another. This one was one I said months in, like last year, that Volt Tempest needs to be banned just because everything. I still think it should be banned. That's not a compensation for now. But this one, I would definitely say needed to be banned for sure. But that's going to be all for now. I hope to have a class for you or two later in the week. Hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like or dislike this video, and I'll see you guys on the next one.